On a Tuesday morning in October 2023, a 67-year-old man named Robert bent down to tie his shoelace before his usual walk around the block. He straightened back up, and his left leg simply buckled underneath him. Not weak, not tired, gone. Like the signal from his brain to his calf had been cut somewhere along the way. His wife found him on the kitchen floor, one hand gripping the cabinet handle, his foot ice cold to the touch even though it was a mild autumn morning. The ambulance came, the tests came back, and the phrase the emergency room doctor used was the same phrase I hear almost every single week from people your age: poor leg circulation. Here is what makes Robert's story so unsettling. He walked every single day, 2 miles, sometimes 3, rain or shine, for years. He did everything the pamphlets told him to do, and it still happened. I'm Dr. Adrian Wells, and if you're over 60 and your legs feel heavy by 4 in the afternoon, if your ankles leave a dent when you press a finger into them, if your feet are cold at night even under 2 blankets, I need you to stay with me for the next several minutes. Because what I'm about to explain is not something a doctor has time to walk you through in a standard 10-minute visit, and it is absolutely not something just walk more can fix on its own. You are not imagining this. Your body is not simply getting old in some vague, unfixable way. There is a specific physical reason your legs feel this way after 60, and there is one movement, roughly 1 minute long, that surgeons and vascular rehabilitation teams rely on to help wake that circulation back up. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, step by step, before we're done today. But if you skip ahead right now, you will almost certainly do it wrong, and doing it wrong gets you nowhere. So give me a few minutes first. It will be worth it. Let's talk about your second heart. Deep inside your calf, underneath the muscle you can actually see and feel when you flex it, there's another muscle most people have never once heard of. It's called the soleus. It doesn't show off in the mirror. It sits low and flat, wrapped tightly around the shin bone, and it has exactly one job: squeezing. Every time it contracts, it presses against a network of deep veins running through your lower leg, veins that are trying to carry blood 2, sometimes 3 feet, straight up, against gravity, back toward your heart. Tiny one-way valves inside those veins snap shut behind every pulse of blood so it cannot slide back down and pool. Picture a row of trapdoors, one after another, each one only opening in a single direction. That's the mechanism. That is your second heart, working quietly, thousands of times a day, whether you've ever thought about it or not. And here is what happens to it after 60. The vein walls get thinner and more stretched out, like an old rubber band left in a drawer too long. The valves inside them start to leak, just slightly, letting a little blood slip backward with every beat. And the soleus muscle itself, the pump, begins to shrink from disuse, especially if you spend a good part of your day sitting, which, if we're honest, most of us do. So the pump slows, blood stalls low in the leg instead of climbing, swelling creeps up around the ankle, the feet run cold. The skin down there starts running short on oxygen. And here's the part nobody warns you about. By the time a person turns 70, close to 1 in 5 already has some degree of narrowed circulation in the legs, and most of them have no idea. It doesn't announce itself with a siren. It shows up as cold feet at night, as ankles that just swell a bit, as a heaviness you've quietly decided is normal. And here's the piece almost nobody sits you down and explains. Walking barely touches this muscle. Walking runs on momentum. You fall forward a few inches, catch yourself, fall forward again. Your soleus barely fires past a flicker with each step. It needs sustained, held tension, not a bouncing rhythm, to fully squeeze that pump. That's the missing piece. That is exactly why people who walk 3 miles a day still sit across from me with cold feet and ankles like bread dough by dinner time. In a standard 10-minute appointment, there simply isn't room for a doctor to draw a diagram of your soleus, explain how those valves work, and then teach you a specific hold and release movement on top of everything else on that day's checklist. So the advice gets compressed down to 2 words: walk more. It isn't wrong, exactly, it's just incomplete. And incomplete advice, repeated for years, is how disciplined, hard-working people still end up with circulation problems they did not see coming. Let me tell you about a man I'll call Harold. He's a blend of several patients I've cared for over the years, so no one's privacy is on the line here. Harold was 74, a retired mechanic, proud of it, still fixing his own gutters. He walked his dog 2 miles every single morning for 11 straight years. And yet, by 2022, his ankles swelled so badly by evening that he'd press a finger into the skin above his sock line and leave a groove you could park a marble in. He wasn't lazy, he wasn't skipping steps. His problem wasn't effort, it never is. Harold Soleus had quietly shrunk over years of sitting in his truck, sitting at the diner counter, sitting in his recliner after dinner with his feet up, which felt like the responsible thing to do, and no amount of walking was ever going to wake that muscle back up on its own. What finally did was one specific movement, held a certain way, for about 60 seconds at a time, insert there's used for way, and I'm going to show you exactly how Harold, and quite a few patients like him, learned to do it correctly. Because there is a wrong way to do this, and it happens to be the way almost everyone does it by accident. Here's the mistake. If you go up on your toes quickly, bounce, 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 15 of them in 10 seconds, the way most people do a calf raise without thinking, you're mostly training the outer calf muscle, the one that gives your calf its visible shape. That muscle is fine. It's just the wrong target. To reach the soleus, the muscle that actually drives the deep pump pushing blood up from your ankles, your knees need to stay slightly bent, and the contraction needs to be held, not bounced through. Here's why that hold matters so much. When a muscle squeezes and genuinely holds, too simple, not taps, holds, too, it creates something called shear stress against the inner wall of your blood vessels. That inner wall is called the endothelium, and you can think of it the way you'd think of the coating inside a good non-stick pan. When it's smooth, blood glides through easily. When it's rough, from years of inflammation or sluggish flow, blood struggles a little more, pressure rises slightly, and the groundwork for bigger problems gets laid down quietly, without symptoms, for years. That shear stress is believed to help signal your arteries to release a gas called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is essentially a relaxation message sent to the artery wall. It tells the vessel to loosen, to widen a touch, to stay flexible instead of stiff. More flow tends to support more nitric oxide, and looser, more responsive arteries tend to support more flow. It's a loop, and research on older adults suggests that even brief, repeated bouts of the right kind of muscle contraction may help support that loop rather than let it stall out. Now, timing matters here almost as much as form does. There's a window, right after meals, where this same movement appears to do something else entirely, something most people have never connected to their legs at all. I'll walk you through exactly when and why in just a moment. But first, one number I want you to sit with. Researchers tracking older adults for years found that leg strength and simple walking speed predicted how long someone lived more reliably than cholesterol numbers alone. Doctors have started calling gait speed the sixth vital sign, right alongside pulse and blood pressure, because when the legs quietly start losing power, it's often the very first signal that the whole body is losing ground behind the scenes. And sarcopenia, the medical term for this age-related muscle loss, does not wait politely for permission. Some research suggests people can lose 3 to 5% of leg muscle mass every year once that muscle stops being regularly asked to work. Stretch that across 2 decades of sitting a little more each year, and you start to understand exactly why some people are still hiking mountains at 78, while others, no less determined, are reaching for a cane. Let me pause here for one honest favor, because this feels like the right moment for it. If any of this has made sense of something you've felt for years but never had words for, go ahead and subscribe, and tell me in the comments what time of day you plan to try what I'm about to show you. I read every single comment, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next for you. Now, back to your legs. Alright, here it is, the 1-minute movement I promised you at the very start. The one Harold eventually learned. The one Robert, the man from the beginning of this video, now uses every day since his medical team cleared him to move again. I call it the Bent-Knee Soleus Pump, because that slight bend in your knee is the entire secret. Miss that detail, and you're just doing a regular calf raise that skips right past the muscle we actually need. Here's exactly how to do it. Stand behind a sturdy chair or at your kitchen counter. Rest your hands there lightly for balance, not your full weight, just enough to feel steady. Bend your knees slightly, a couple of inches, as if you're settling into a very shallow squat, and hold that bend the entire time. Now slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet. Lift your heels as high as you comfortably can while keeping those knees bent the whole way up. At the very top, hold it. Don't bounce off it and drop. Hold for a full 3 seconds, breathing normally, eyes forward. Then lower back down slowly, taking about 3 seconds to return all the way to the floor. That's 1 repetition. 10 of those, done slowly, is roughly your 1 minute. Do it 3 times through the day if you can manage it. Once in the morning, after you've been sitting through breakfast. Once about 15 to 20 minutes after your largest meal, because that appears to be the window where this same movement does double duty, helping your leg muscles pull sugar out of the bloodstream at nearly the exact moment it tends to spike. And once before bed, since that's when most people tell me their swelling and their nighttime cramping feels worst. If your balance is a concern at all, keep both hands on the counter the entire time, every single rep. There is no version of this that requires you to let go to get the benefit. Steadiness comes later, after weeks of doing this consistently, not before, and never as a test you put yourself through early. One honest caution, because I would rather you hear this from me than learn it the hard way. If you ever notice sudden, severe pain in one leg, or a leg that turns pale, cold, and numb without any clear reason, or a sore on your foot or ankle that simply will not heal after several weeks, please don't try to exercise through that. Have it looked at quickly. That particular combination can signal something far more urgent than the everyday circulation sluggishness we've been talking about today, and it deserves prompt attention, not a home routine. Harold did the bent knee holds 3 times a day for about 6 weeks before he came back to see me. His ankles weren't ballooning by dinner time anymore. He started wearing his ring again on that hand, which sounds small, but it mattered to him more than almost anything else we discussed. And Robert, the man whose leg gave out in his kitchen that October morning, once his own doctors cleared him to move, this exact routine became part of his daily rhythm. I won't tell you his circulation turned 20 years younger. I'd be stretching the truth, and I don't do that with you. What he told me, months later, was simpler than that. He trusts his legs again when he stands up. That trust is really the whole point of everything we just covered. So here's what we walked through together today. Your calf hides a second heart, a muscle called the soleus, and after 60, it quietly shrinks unless you specifically ask it to work. Walking helps your heart and your mood, and please don't stop doing it, but it barely reaches this particular muscle. The fix is a slow, bent knee, 3-second hold, roughly a minute total, done 3 times a day, timed loosely around your meals and your evening wind down. It costs nothing. It takes up less space than your kitchen counter. And it's close to what surgeons and vascular teams reach for before they reach for anything more complicated. There's a second habit tied closely to this one, something a lot of people do right before bed without a second thought that quietly undoes most of this pump work while they sleep. I'll be covering exactly what that is soon, so keep an eye out for it. This video is for general educational purposes only, and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please talk with your own doctor before starting any new exercise routine, particularly if you have a history of blood clots, diagnosed vascular disease, recent leg surgery, or any condition affecting your circulation. If you experience sudden or severe symptoms in your legs, seek medical attention promptly rather than waiting. Take care of those legs of yours. They've carried you this far. Let's help them carry you a lot further.